fascinating General Election 2024. So here is the problem why I chose this title of this project. So there's a problem in this General Election 2024 and the previous General Election. It's the same problem, which is golput. Golput is a group of people who they don't have a choice in general election and they don't use their right well in general election. And with there's a problem with golput, it will affect the government system because it means that when there's people who do golput, it means that they don't give any contribution to the government policy, and it means that they don't trust or give mandate to the government leader. That's why to minimize it, we need an effort which is a political education. When we know more about political education, we can be morally and responsible participant. We can know more the importance of participation in general election so that we can give a change for government system. And the subject for this project, I prefer to Z generation. Why? Because Z generation is a new force and they contribute about 55%. It means that they are one of the generation that many contribute in general election. And because of the new voters, they need more education about politics. So for the next general election, we can more minimize the golput. And here is the problem formulation. The problem formulation first is how to influence of political education for Z generation, and the second is how to develop political education. In here, I have two data. The first data is about the total of about the generation in participant general election, and the second is data about golput, start from the first general election and the last is 2019. In here, I would like to discuss and would like to answer the first problem formulation is how to influence of political education for Z generation. So we all know that Z generation contribute about 55% in general election, and general election will not run smoothly without the awareness of community in general election. And one of the factors that affects the awareness of participation in society is political education. Political education has the main objective that is foster the participant of the society. And like I said before, when we know more about political education, we can be maximally contribute in government system, and it means that we can bring changes to the political policy. And in here, do you know the factor of why people do golput? Like the second data before, many people do golput because of the lack of awareness in contributing or participating in general election. They don't have any choice for the candidate of general election, and they don't have a high spirit for the changing of the democracy of the nation. So that's why to minimize the golput, we need an effort, which is political education. Political education, we can get it in everywhere, like in our family, friends, society, and school. Overall, political education plays a key role in fostering the understanding of each individual about the importance of contribution or participant in general election. Okay, the last discussion is how to develop political education. The first one is improvement the school curriculum. We all know that school is the first place to gain knowledge, right? So start from elementary school, it's better that we know more about political education. And second is organize political education workshop. There are many kinds of workshops or seminars that talk about politics. We can evaluate and have a discussion with other people. And the third is a digital platform as a medium for political education. Nowadays, many people use a digital platform as for sharing information or education. We can use it for sharing about politics so that we're not just sharing about an important information, but we can use it more useful by discuss about politic problems. And the last is improving politics skills. Usually, some of schools there are kind of like a speech or a debate. We can use it for having a discussion about politics. So it's just not about discussion, but we can be a critical thinking, be a creative people to have a discussion about politics, and we find a solution about it. And the last is the conclusion of my project. So political education is very important for every individual of the society, because when we know more about political education, we maximally contribute, we maximally participate in general election. It means that we trust and maintain the government leader. And when we trust, it means that it has a high sense of democracy among each other. And in developing political education, it not just need from the generation effort or community effort, but also need from the government effort. Okay, that's all from me. Is there any question?
Okay, Hasna. Now, just now, you give me many explanation about political education. So now I want to ask you about Gen Z who doesn't have a smartphone. So Gen Z who cannot get education like elementary school and high school, they not get they cannot school yang udah sekolah. So they cannot get any education, political education. So how the way to develop the political message to them who doesn't get education in school and they cannot get a smartphone? Maybe you have some idea to develop the political education to them.
Okay, it's need from the government involved, Mr. Because nowadays that government, the technology is developed, and Mr. say that some of people don't have a handphone. So there's another way, alternative way, but it's a little bit traditional. Like we can use a magazine or a newspaper, which is consists of many education, so that we can spread it in all Indonesian area, so that people who live in the village can know the information from magazine or newspaper.
Okay, next question. Just now you said that social media have many impact, right? For campaign. So, but in the social media we find many fake campaign, right? So, how to avoid that case? It will make a healthy election for president.
Actually, it depends on ourselves. When we choose a candidate, we should find or we should know the vision and mission of every candidate. And actually, there are many kind of journalists like Najwa Sahar. I usually watch the YouTube channel so that I can differentiate between one candidate to another candidate. And when there are many news and social media, you can find many research like news, on-past news. You can search many more about information. So we don't just depend on one information, but we should find many research.
There are many problems, right, from the social media about the
Yes.
campaign. So, do you agree about all of candidates is forbidden to use social media platform to be campaign about their vision or other? Do you agree?
And actually, using social media as for campaign, I'm agree with that. It's not prohibited because, like before, the second candidate of general election used AI or social media for their campaign, so that they have many followers. So I think that's okay if you use social media for the campaign.
So maybe you can explain to me how do we the candidate make a good campaign and will get many voice from Gen Z?
One of the ways is use social media, sir. Because many generations, especially Z generation, because Z generation contribute 55% on general election. So the candidate must use social media wisely, sir. And so for attract many people, they can having a good vision and mission and sharing to the community of Indonesia. I mean, like they can be trusted by Indonesian people.
Okay, enough from me. You can close the presentation.
Okay, that's all from me. Thank you for your listening. As I say, wassalamualaikum.